All right, and today we're opening up a vintage box of stickers. That's right, we're opening a full, well, sealed-ish, official PFA Panini football sticker collection from the 1996-97 season. In this collection, you can get amazing stickers such as the David Beckham Rookie Sticker, Eric Cantona in his last season for Man United, Peter Schmeichel, David Seaman, Alan Shearer as well, Les Ferdinand, Pele as well. They're all in there. So without any further ado, let's get explaining these. And so I bought these from somebody in Thailand. Some people may have heard about this warehouse in Thailand that's got all these stickers in, which is genuinely true, which is why the boxes aren't in as good a condition. They are unopened. Some have remained sealed. As you can see there, look, there's 80 packs in each box, 25 pence per packet. Back in the day, it was made in 1996, released in 1996. So like I said, the boxes aren't in the best condition. Due to the conditions that they've been stored in, the packets are unopened, but mostly aren't sealed. So I'll give you an example now and show you. So this would be the first pack I would be opening. As you can see already, I'm struggling to get it out. But yeah, so as you can see, the pack is all together, but it's the adhesive has come off. A little glimpse there, that might be Tim Sherwood or Chuck Ripley, I'm not sure. All the stickers are absolutely perfect inside, but the adhesive around has come off. I will be selling some of these as well, so yeah, if you want to get in touch with me, let me know. But they all came in a full case, so of 8 boxes of 80 packets. I'll show you the boxes that came in later as well. But without any further ado, let's get in. So what I'm trying to get is David Beckham Rookie, and also a full set, basically, out of a box. Let's see what we can do. With 480 stickers in each box. So let's see where we can go. So this is the first pack then. So it was a little bit stuck together, but not good. And I was right. So first sticker then, Tim Sherwood of Blackburn. Oh, the ladies' favourite, and favourite of all the shampoo adverts with his amazing hair, David Ginola. Robbie Earle, the Reggae Boys for Jamaica International there. Jason Dezelle, who's at son Andre Dezelle, is playing. I think he's at Portsmouth at the minute, isn't he? We're on trial at Blaze last season. Michael Gray, who missed the last penalty in the 97-98 playoff final, I want to say. Against Charlton for Sunderland. And Gary Mabbott, who played all his career, was diabetic. Into injection. So pack number 2. Well, what I'll show you as well, like you say, see, so that pack's open from the top, but all the packs are there. The stickers are undamaged. It's just a case of the fact that the adhesive has gone on the packs. But you know, that's what you get sometimes when you're opening vintage packs of stickers. Look, they've gone. That one's got moved slightly. So I'll put this over here. So starting with chain smoking Steve Grizovic, Gary Parker, Man United legend Ronnie Johnson, Jason McAteer, Mark Reaper, and Richard Shaw. On to pack 3 out of 80 then. I'm flying through them already. So as a sum, the adhesive is on it a bit. You can hear it like just peeling off a little bit, but it's yeah, it's seen better days. So we've got Steve Howe, who Sunderland fans have come up with a very unique song anthem for him, which involves his brother Lee Howe, who plays for Sunderland. Gary Pallister, you can actually get him in this collection as well. Robbie Fowler, the young PFA player of the season for the season before, and an amazing goal scorer at this time in his career, weren't he? And then Les Ferdinand, the player of the season for the PFA. So we've got both award winners straight one after each other. Paul Parker for Man United. For Derby, sorry, he did play for Man United, I do apologise. And Teddy Sheringham, who's seen better hair days. So pack 4 then. Let's see what delights we can get out of pack number 4. So like I said, remember, these packs have been unopened for 29 years. Almost 30 years, all the way back in the 1900s. So I'm just being careful while I'm opening them. I'm starting off with Jordi Cruyff for Man United, obviously son of footballing legend Johan Cruyff. Peter Beardsley, who is one of the Spice Girls' favourite players. There's a joke in there. David Beckham's wife saying, who's your favourite player? Peter Beardsley. Sol Campbell. Lee Bowyer. And Big Duncan Ferguson and Ewan Jess. So pack number 5. Starting off with former England captain Tony Adams. He was the England captain at that time as well. Or did he give up the captaincy just after Euro 96? He might have. Neil Ardley, Wimbledon. Niall Quinn. Dennis Bergkamp. One of his first stickers for Arsenal, isn't it? And the reason why the players are in these PFA jackets, so Panini didn't have the licence for the Premier League collection. At the time it was Merlin, who was taken over by Topps. So to get around it, they did the official PFA collection, which is why they've all got these jackets on rather than the kits. So they can say the team, they can say the player's name, but they can't have the official kits. So there you go. John Goodman and the late, great Gary Speed. Very sad when he died. Just left Sheffield United. Also did play for us, and then he went on to manage us, and then he went on to manage Wales. And obviously, that unfortunate incident happened where he died. So we've got Ken Moncow for Southampton, Gary Kelly for Leeds, Richard Jobson, Jamie Redknapp in all his hair and glory. This is his pre-Skechers days, by the way, and pre-Sky Sports days. Probably more Brill cream at this point, isn't he? Ivan Leonardson and Paul Williams for Coventry. There are some really good players in these collections. Just being careful with the packs, like I said, rather than just ripping them open. We can open like that. Definitely know them. We're not going to damage any of the stickers, but like I said, the quality of the stickers, these are really big stickers. I will show you the size of these stickers compared to a World Club Cup sticker. So I've got a Francisco Conceição World Club Cup sticker here. Compare it next to the Steve Claridge, and it's huge. The thickness of these is really thick as well, but like I said, the quality is fine. There's nothing wrong with the stickers. Basically football card size. But yeah, you get much more bang for your buck back then in these collections. So Steve Claridge, Chris Armstrong for Spurs, who looks very different now with his big long dreads. Mark Bowen, Henning Berg for Blackburn before he went to Man U. Mark Draper, and future England manager Gareth Southgate, fresh off the back of missing that penalty against Germany at Euro 96. That picture. But he's without his pizza up bag there. The pizza advert that he did. This pack feels quite sealed. It's a bit open at the bottom. So, you know what, this one, I think we'll open this. Oh, no, we won't open this one. It's open easy like that. So starting off then with Igor Stimac, Steve Clarke, Scotland manager. Oh, Kevin Pressman for Wednesday, who he was a good keeper, but always saved his best performances for the Sheffield derbies. Man United legend. Just keep him away from your wife if he's your brother. It's Ryan Giggs. Ricardo Schumacher. David James, this is one of the PFA players of the season, so he's in the team of the season, so these have got all shiny stickers. And that's it, that's your last one, so that is B. That's so they were numbered A down to L, I think, with A being the PFA logo, and L being the last one, which I think is Les Ferdinand. So it's the next pack. Yeah, you know what? I think for some reason we're going to get away with actually opening them. So we will open this one. Let's see what's just a little bit unsealed at the bottom. There's no stickers in the bottom there. And starting off with Liverpool and England legend John Barnes, David Batty, Razor, Neil Ruddock for Liverpool, Paul Bracewell for Sunderland, Carlton Palmer for Leeds, which is Wednesday as well, and an international for England, and Richard Jobson. I'm sure we've just got in one of the previous packs. But yeah, Carlton Palmer played quite a few times for England, didn't he, in midfield. And Graham Taylor. Voted for the worst place to play for England. But that's very harsh, because Carlton Palmer was a good player. I hate to admit it, but he was. Andy Hinchcliffe for Everton. David May for Man United. Frank Leboeuf, we've still got a bit of hair there. Chelsea. Rob Jones, Liverpool right back. David Weatherall for Leeds. And Darryl Powell. So still not managed to hit a David Beckham rookie yet. But we're looking for that. Looking out for the Pelé card, sticker, and the Cantona as well. But yeah, at this moment in time, yeah, these quite sealed, these packs. As best they can be anyway. So we've got Mark Pembridge for Wednesday. Philippe Albert, who loves a lot of sauce on his chips, doesn't he? If you know what I'm talking about, it's the in the 96-97 season where Newcastle beat Man United 5-0 at St James's Park. And for the 5th goal, Philippe Albert, a centre-back, came rolling forward and did such an amazing chip over Schmeichel to make it 5. Jason Wilcox for Blackburn, who's now Man United's sporting director, head of transfers, isn't he? Julian Watts for Leicester. Chris Armstrong again for Spurs. And the late, great Pavel Cernacek for Newcastle, who went on to play for Wednesday as well, didn't he, in the Premier League? Look at that. It's weird, isn't it, mentioning Sheffield Wednesday in the Premier League, because they're going down in Championship this season, aren't they? Oh dear. My heart bleeds. If you don't know, I don't care if Wednesday go down. I'm a United fan. So, TalkSport's own Andy Townsend, Christian Daly, Brian Roy, Steve Ogrizovic, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Scored. Did he score in the Champions League final? Was it Solskjaer and Sheringham? It was, wasn't it? The season after that, or a couple of seasons after this one. And amazing fact sticker. This is 287. There's 288 in the collection. And if you get 288, you have to keep the back of that so you can enter the amazing facts competition. Starting off with one of the best defenders to grace the top division in English football, Paul McGrath. Nigel Martin for Leeds. He did play a few games for England, didn't he? Richard Hall. Hollywood superstar, Vinnie Jones. Sick note, Darren Anderton. Oh, Kevin Pressman again. Ugh. Oh, I've got to say, I do know his son. His son's a really nice kid as well. I said kid, well into his 30s now. So if I do see him, I might give him a sticker of his dad. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Jason Dozell. Oh, another Wednesday player. I'm going to get upset every time I see a Wednesday player, but I've got to accept that they were a better team, better club at that time, better run club. I think they finished 7th this season as well in the Premier League, Sheffield Wednesday. Andy Booth. Yeah, they did, beating Liverpool 1-0 last game of the season, I think. Tony Cottee. And here he is, Eric the King, Eric Cantona, in his last season for Man United. But nobody knew it then because Eric Cantona was Eric Cantona, weren't he? He was maverick, didn't tell anyone, just retired at the end of the season, done. I think he was only 31 or 32 as well, and you're like, nope, I'm done. But yeah, so he's one of the stickers from his last season, so yeah, a good one to get. Rob Lee for the team of the season. And Frank Rolling for Leicester. I've already opened some of these, so I think the only one I need, shiny need for the team of the season is C. So we need to look out for that one. And we're on to Alex Ray of Sunderland, who did go back down this season, didn't they? Warren Barton of Newcastle. Tony Adams Oh, we've got another one as well. So Tony Adams is D. Damn it. Steve Stone for the team of the season. Like I said, I've got a very quick story about him. When I was growing up, one of my friends when I was growing up was in the Wednesday Academy, and I played a couple of times for Wednesday, but one of his mates, Fozzie, when he was playing in the reserves, Steve Stone was just coming back from injury, because this is the time when Wednesday were in the Premier League, and he did a horrendous tackle on an already injured Steve Stone, and he went back off, so there you go. Obviously, you could tell he was happy about that. He told everyone about it. Peter Beardsley and Tommy Johnson. We've got one of the stickers for the winners of the awards of the PFA Player of the Season. So Robbie Fowler, Shaka Hislop for Newcastle, Alf-Inge Haaland, Erling Haaland's dad. Obviously, Alf-Inge Haaland wasn't as good a player as his son is, but still a very good player, as he played in the Premier League for a number of clubs, didn't he? Man City, Forest, Leeds, Tony Adams, David James, and Stevie Nicol. Get in the bin. You can. I hate him, man. He's hate's a strong word, but don't like his punditry, shall we say, in the Premier League, and obviously doesn't like United either. So we've got former Croatian manager and part-time rock star as well, Slaven Bilic, Lars Bohinen, Psycho Stuart Pearce, Gary Charles, Chris Bart-Williams, and Brian Roy. That was a very Forest heavy pack, that, weren't it? 3 players for Forest here. And we've got PFA Player of the Season from the season before, Les Ferdinand, David Burrows, Jason Dodd, Neil Cox for Borough, Alan Wright for Villa, and Ruud Gullit, all-round football legend for the Dutch national team, AC Milan. He won a lot in his career, didn't he, Ruud Gullit, and finished it off at Chelsea in the Premier League. And we're on to Kevin Gallagher for Blackburn, Steve McManaman for Liverpool, who I'm not too keen on his Coventry, but it is nowhere near as bad as Michael Owen's punditry. Both really good players, though. Tony Yeboah, who only scored worldies for Leeds, didn't he? An absolute classic 90s footballer there. Ian Ward, who again, he only likes scoring good goals as well for Forest. David May for Man United, and Florin Raduciao, I think that's how you say his name. I ain't got a clue, to be honest, of West Ham. Now we're on to former Palace legend John Solarco, that was at Coventry in this season. Michael Dewberry for Chelsea. Ray Parlour, Ginger Pele for Arsenal. John Barnes for Liverpool. Steve Potts for West Ham. And Ben Thatcher for Wimbledon, who, if you remember, in the early 2000s, tried to kill Pedro Mendes. I think for Portsmouth. Sickening elbow, weren't it, that? So we've got Branco for Middlesbrough. Craig Burley for Chelsea. Peter Atherton, I think was Wednesday captain at the time. Gary Croft, who obviously didn't do his effort picture, did he? Jim Magilton. And another Alf-Inge Haaland. I'll compare the stickers of Dad and Lad. So we've got Julian Watts for Leicester. Martin Keown, again of Talk Sport for Arsenal there. Lee Howe, Sunderland player, like I say. He's Steve Howe's brother, and Sunderland fans have a really catchy tune, don't they, which goes, Lee Howe, Lee Howe, Lee Howe, your brother is. And you can put any word in there that you like, but if you listen to one of the podcasts, you'll find out what word that is, and they love singing it to Steve Howe. Steve Hartness for Liverpool, Alan Nielsen for Southampton, and Joe Parkinson for the Toffees. Next pack then. So this pack is like I say, is again fully sealed. But the adhesive, if you rub it a little bit, just goes off. So I've got Ian Nolan for that lot. Stiginger Bjornaby for Liverpool. Phil Neville, who, if you were to flip a coin, would probably just come out as the better looking of the Neville brothers, wouldn't he? Zimbabwe legend, Peter Runlove, Nuddy. Interesting fact here, first foreign player for an away team to score a hat-trick at Liverpool was Peter Runlove. So there you go. I used to love him for Blades as well. He could either be the best player in the world or the worst player in the world. There was no in between with him. Andy Boo for Wednesday. And Ian Rush, who left Liverpool that season and gone to Leeds. Some of the things Peter Runlove could do with the ball were unbelievable. Both good and bad. Let's pack open. So we've got Neil Shipperley, who's looking much younger and thinner than he is now for Southampton. Jan Argafiotov, one of my favourite players. Flip Blades when I was younger. Came to us halfway through this season with his aeroplane celebration. I remember doing some training with him and all when I was younger. And David Holsworth. Faustino Aspria, who's got an amazing celebration, and was a really good player. And a very unique character, shall we say. Paul McGrath, Stuart Ripley, and Gary Walsh. Scored a hat-trick in Barcelona as well, didn't he? Tino Aspria. So that's one of the good cards to get, one of the good legends of the Premier League to get. Starting off this pack with little Brazilian legend Juninho in his first season for Borough. Again, it's a good sticker to get because Borough fans will want this one. Jeff Kenner for Blackburn. Francis Benale and that amazing tash that's got there. Let's have a close-up of that bad boy. Look at that. That took some grooming, hasn't it? Up there with David Seaman's tash. Colin Hendry for Blackburn. And Reggie Blinker for Wednesday. And I didn't want to do that. But it is... I don't want to disrespect him at all because I've got to say, such an underrated player, Ray Parlour, but was a really good player. Ginger Pele, or was it the Bromford Pele? One of the two, isn't it? Ray Parlour, Bromford Pele, sorry. And we're starting off with a Steve Stone shiny. Chris Coleman. The late, great Hugo Echiog, who also played for Blades well and was a really, really good defender, I've got to say, wherever he went. Yorgos Donis, again, went on loan to Blades for a little bit. So did Dean Sturridge. And Ayosa Asanovic. So we've got a very Sheffield United later on in the career pack there. Again, some Premier League legends. And here we go. I think this is number one. Numero uno. It is. So it's half of the PFA badge. Michael Bridges. Scott Taylor for Leicester. Graham Stewart, again, went on playing for the Blades for Everton. Scored that goal where he scored from about 40 yards out. Didn't need to keep Everton up and send the Blades down. David Burrows and what a football's hard meant, Mick Harford. So we've got Sparky, another Premier League legend, Mark Hughes, Noel Whelan. And there we go. Rookie David Beckham sticker. We've hit him. We've not gone a full box without him. Boom. I mean, look at his hair there. He's, I think he did a bit better with his hair later on, didn't he? But yeah, that's certainly the ladies' favourite, David Beckham. If we have a look at the centering of it, other than at the top and just there, that's pretty good as well, the centering on that one. So, because it's Becks, this one, he's getting sleeved up. And into a top loader. There we go. And putting him on a stand. We've got him. With it, Bex. There we go. I'm not going to stop though. We're opening a full box. I want to get a full set. So Slaven Bilic, Andy Gray, and Andy Linnigan for Arsenal. How many packs we've opened so far. Steve Chettle for Forest, Man U and Premier League legend Andy Cole, later what to be called Andrew Cole, Ludek Miklosko, Tony DeRigo, Mark Bright, and Tino Asprilla. And we have got Ian Woan for Forest, Brian Dean, absolute legend of the game in my eyes anyway. But interesting fact about him, Brian Dean scored the first ever goal in the Premier League for Sheffield United as well, against Man United. And the Blades won 2-1. So there you go, we've actually got a sticker of him, my absolute legend, my footballing hero, Brian Dean. So yeah, there you go. Of all the thousands of goals that have been scored since in the Premier League, he was the first. Marco Gabbiadini for Derby, Effie Koku for Wimbledon, Barry Venison for Southampton, and Dave Besant for Southampton. I'm hoping we get another Beckham Rookie as well. That would be amazing if we could get 2 in one box. So we've got Kevin Ball for Sunderland, Roy Keane, Man United legend, and again, all-round footballing legend. Century on that is really good, actually, as well, isn't it? That'd be worth sending off, that one. Ian Walker for Spurs. Robin van der Laan for Derby. Martin Keown for Arsenal. And Nigel Pearson for Borough. So we've got Dan Petrescu for Chelsea. And the ladies' favourite, David Ginola. PFA sticker there. Shiny sticker. Soccer Saturday's very own Paul Merson. Branco for Borough. Gary Parker for Leicester. An absolute legend of the game, Alan Shearer for Newcastle. He just left Blackburn at the beginning of the season and gone to Newcastle. Top scorer at Euro 96 as well going into the season. Can't speak highly enough about Shearer, and Premier League all-time top goal scorer. Not First Division, mind you, top division, but Premier League. We've got podcast legend Mark Crossley. You really need to listen to his stories about Brian Clough. They are legendary. Liam Dyche for Coventry. Steve Bold, he's still defensive coach at Arsenal as well. Emerson for Everton. Gary Kelly for Leeds. And another Beckham! 2 in a couple of packs. Another David Beckham rookie sticker. We're taking this. We're having this. I am more than happy to keep getting David Beckham rookie stickers. Obviously, like I said, they're not as valuable as the Merlin one, but it is still classed as one of his rookies. It's all sticking there as well. I can't find another top loader at the minute. It's a pretty similar box to one I've already opened, though, this, so I'm hoping I do get a full set. So we've got Nuddy, Peter Unlove, Dean Oldsworth, twin brother of Dave, was a defender and he was a striker. Danny Williamson, Darren Wassall, Rob Lee, and Andy Melville. Got midfield legend Gary McAllister, who was at Coventry at this point, but then just seemed to get better with it. He ended up at Liverpool, didn't he? Helping him win loads of trophies in one season. Lee Clark for Newcastle. Penalty legend and conspiracy theorist extraordinaire Matt Le Tissier, whose daughter is on a certain site now. Begins with O. Les Ferdinand, one of the 3 stickers for the PFA Awards. Chris Coleman, and Phil Babb. And again, interesting story about Phil Babb, and a legendary story. Nearly ruined his manhood by trying to stop a shot. I think it was it from Casaraghe? It was from a Chelsea player anyway, when he went sliding in, trying to stop it on the line, and had his legs open and clattered into the post with his legs open. So yeah, I can't imagine that was in any way, shape or form comfortable for him. Yeah, there you go. You'll probably be able to find that on YouTube. So, got Fabrizio Ravanelli, who had an iconic celebration in Seattle, going into this season, was a Champions League winner. He left Juventus to go to Middlesbrough, who went down that season as well. Ian Wright, an absolute legend of the game, and all-round just good person, isn't it? Just a real good person. I'd love to sit down and have a cup of tea and talk about football with Ian Wright. You know, one of them players where you just want to talk to him about his stories all day, because he didn't start in a Premier League academy or a sub-division academy. He started off on the building sites in non-league, gunner trials everywhere, and then went on to be, for a long time, Arsenal's top goal scorer until Thierry Henry took it off him. But yeah, just all-round good person. Anyway, enough of being talking up Ian Wright. Got Mark Bosnich again, who I think decided not to do his hair for the picture. Borough and Brazilian legend Juninho. And Neil Ardley. Oh, so I've got another one. And John Spencer. I've gone to the story, haven't we, about John Spencer from the podcast, haven't we, where he wanted to leave Chelsea because they signed Zola. He was in the showers singing, please release me, let me go. And Rude Hullet was manager at the time, was walking past singing, la 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 Zola. I think just stories like that you find out years later, and they just make you laugh, don't they? They're really good stories that can only happen in like a team sport like football. Because you wouldn't get away with it in an office, would you? Craig Hignett for Borough. Later went on to play for like Barnsley and Blackburn. Kevin Hitchcock for Chelsea. The late, great Kevin Campbell. Again, another one of football's good guys, weren't he? Tyrese currently playing for the Blades as well. But yeah, he was... Everyone spoke highly of him, and he was unfortunate and passing last year, weren't he? Due to illness. Dave Watson. Scotland manager Steve Clarke, and Sky Sports Soccer Saturday's very own Paul Merson. Now, I am going to repeat a few things about these, because there's 288 stickers in the collection, and there's 480 in this box. So we're definitely going to have some swaps, but what I want is a full set. So Graham Stewart, there we go, don't want to be kicking that away, for Everton. Ili Dumitrescu for West Ham. Got in the PFA award stickers, so we've actually got the PFA badge. Alan Shearer as well, one of the best stickers to get from this set. The shiny, it's L. I think that's the last one in it as well for the PFA awards. Peter Schmeichel, Man United legend, and Brian Burrows for Coventry. I think more than halfway through now, looking at that. So we've got Henning Berg for Blackburn, Kenny Cunningham for Wimbledon, Lee Sharp for Leeds, just left Man United, hasn't he? John Scales for Liverpool, and my absolute hero, Brian Dean. Just unfortunate they went to Leeds, and John Beresford. But he did come back to Blades on another 2 occasions, didn't he? The season after that, 97-98, then Benfica bought him from us. And then in 2005-2006, got Scott Gemmell, whose dad Archie Gemmell was a legend for Forest as well. Fernando Nelson for Villa. Colin Calderwood for Spurs. Steve Chettle for Forest. David Batty for Newcastle. And Ronnie Johnson, treble winner for Man United. Absolute 90s legends, aren't we? Absolute legends. Got Ian Dowie for West Ham. Dion Dublin of Homes Under the Hammer fame now for Coventry. Jacob Lawson for Derby. Legend himself, Les Ferdinand, the PFA Player of the Season as well. Obviously, I've seen them stickers. He's K. Christian Daly. and Mark Bosnich. But yeah, what a strike force Newcastle had that season. Ferdinand and Shearer. Robin van der Laan, have we? Yep. So Robin van der Laan. Tim Flowers for Blackburn and ex-England international. And the competition. So this is the Amazing Facts competition. And like I said, it says on the back, keep it, peel off the sticker back and use it to enter the Amazing Facts competition. There we go. Even things like that back in day, Panini. Clive Wilson for Spurs. Andy Sinton for Spurs. And Nicky Butt. Again, really good. Legend of the 90s. Just a good player. Played really well for England in 2002 World Cup, didn't he? Nicky Butt. So now we're on to Lee Bowyer for Leeds. Ugh, David Hurst. Don't like David Hurst, but that's because he was a good player for Wednesday. Not to win personally, but it's because he played for Wednesday, that's it. And he was a good player. Future England manager Gareth Southgate. Own goal extraordinaire Frank Sinclair. Dean Holdsworth and Savo Milosevic. And we've got Scott Oakes for that lot again, Wednesday. Neil Sullivan for Wimbledon. Darius Kubicki for Sunderland. Once again, podcast legend Mark Crossley. Decent goalkeeper as well. Nigel Martin for Leeds, again, decent goalkeeper. And Niall Quinn for Sunderland. If you've noticed, there's no Man City here because they actually got relegated in the 95-96 season. Unbelievably. And then a couple of seasons after that, relegated to what was Division 2, which is now League 1. So got Peter Fear. There's a song by his surname. I don't think it's about him particularly in the 90s. F-E-A-R. Gary Flitcroft. Again, someone who ended up at the Blades later on in his career. Tony Cotton. Nigel Winterburn, part of the amazing Arsenal defence. Shaka Hislop and Colin Calderwood. Les Ferdinand again as part of that PFA sticker with all three of the world winners on it. Guy Whittingham. Alan Nielsen for Spurs. John Moncur for West Ham. Dennis Irwin, legendary left back for Man United. And Dimitri Karim for Chelsea. Rob Jones, right back for Liverpool. Mark Draper for Villa. Ewan Jess, Coventry. Richie Humphries, who although played for Wednesday and at one point, interesting fact, scored the hardest ever shot recorded. So that fastest shot, goal scored in the Premier League for some time was a Richie Humphries, and a United fan as well. Illy Dumitrescu and Mark Bowen. Also a Hartlepool legend. Oh, Jeff Stelling likes him. We've got number 2 here. So the bottom of the PFA badge. Gianluca Vialli. The late great Gianluca Vialli as well, unfortunately. Colin Cooper for Forest. Craig Ignat for Borough. Lars Bohinen for Blackburn. And Razor for Liverpool. Razor Ruddock with his infamous rap for the 95-96 Cup final song for Liverpool. So we've got Gordon Watson for Southampton. Mike Whitlow, again went on to play for Blades. Lee Dixon, you'll hear him on commentary as well for Talk Sport and other places. Get part of that Arsenal defence, weren't he? Ken Moncow, Michael Dewberry, and Darius Kubicki. Flying through these packs now. So we've got John Scales for Liverpool. Hugo Echiog, part of the team of the season. PFA team of the season there. The late great Hugo Echiog. Andy Thorne. Steve Staunton for Villa. Karol Poborski and his amazing locks of hair for Man United. And Stan Collymore for Liverpool. Starting off then with Eric the King. Again, another amazing sticker to get from this collection. I've got to say, the colouring on that, the print of that, the centering of this sticker is really, really good. So again, I think, in fact I know, this is going to go in a sleeve as well, because that one might be a good one to send off. His last sticker, although it's just a bit thicker on bottom than top into it, but yeah, it's still quite good. Duncan Ferguson for Everton, Big Dunk. Darryl Powell, Derby. David Platt for Arsenal. Tim Flowers for Blackburn, and Sol Campbell while he was still at Tottenham, and a legend there. And not hated at that point before he signed for Arsenal for free. If you listen to the stories of that, he was literally meeting up in the middle of the night in the chairman's garden to talk the deal. Nicky Barmby for Borough. Neil Lennon for Leicester. Roberto Di Matteo, Champions League winning manager as well for Chelsea, isn't he? Chelsea. Ian Dowie. Craig Burley. And Richard Hall. Starting off with a shiny, and it's all-round footballing legend, Ruff Gullit. Alan Wright straight after. I mean, how can we go from Ruff Gullit to Alan Wright? That is... yeah, there we go. David Howells for Spurs. Igor Stimac for Derby. Jan Fiortov for Borough, and Colin Cooper. I'm starting with Neil Cox for Borough. David Weatherall for Leeds. Frank Rollin for Leicester. Kevin Richardson for Coventry. Guy Whittingham for Wednesday. And Frank Leboeuf. So Leboeuf saved that pack there. I thought we were going to have a really naff pack then, but no. Frank Leboeuf came out and saved the day. Some of the packs are just starting to fall that way. Let me sort out his box a little bit, because the packs are a bit loose. There we go. Due to the fact that they're not sealed because of that humidity in Thailand. So we're on again. Own goal extraordinaire, Frank Sinclair. Dean Yates, Derby. Paul Warhurst for Blackburn. Mark Tinkler for Leeds. Paul Rideout for Everton. And penalty kick king Julian Diggs, who nearly rips Michael's hand off once, didn't he, one of those penalties. He just leathered them, and keepers didn't save him, basically. Jason McAteer for Liverpool. Man United and England legend Paul Scholes. Again, centering on that sticker is pretty good to say. These are like nearly 30 years old, these stickers. And how they'll have been printed. Russell Holt for Derby. Peter Fear for Wimbledon. Jeff Kenner for Blackburn. And Psycho Stuart Pearce. We've got Little Hard Man Dennis Wise for Chelsea. Mark Wright for Liverpool. The late great Justin Edinburgh for Spurs. Andy Townsend. Noel Whelan. And Roberto Di Matteo. And we've got Richie Humphries for Wednesday. Gary Neville for Man United. Again, good century on that. First one we've had out of box, isn't it? Gary Mabbott for Spurs. This is the honours board for the PFA Awards that season. So what? Les Ferdinand's the Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, Robbie Fowler, and Special Merit Award, Pelé. So like I said, we've not got it yet, but you can get a Pelé sticker in this collection. Ladies' favourite, David Ginola and Mark Hottiger for Everton. Ooh, so I've got two shinies in here. Come on, let's see. we've got Steve Hartness for Liverpool, Rob Lee for Newcastle, Ruff Gullit for Chelsea, Keith Gillespie for Newcastle, the late great Hugo Echiog for Villa. Oh, every single stick all the way around then. And Tony Cotte for West Ham. And we've got Arsenal legend Dennis Bergkamp, Martin Smith, Blades might play on for Blades, John Ebbrell. And again, I've got a good story about John Ebbrell. I'm not so much it's not so much a happy story, but obviously started this season at Everton. We had Howard Kendall as manager at the time, who used to be Everton manager. Signed John Ebbrell for about 1.2 million, which was a lot of money back then, especially for the Blades. He played for 45 minutes, and that was it. He was injured for the next 4 years. So there you go. It cost us 1.2 million back then, and we got 45 minutes out of him. Not his fault, mind you, but there you go. Gordon Watson, Man U legend Andy Cole, and Peter Atherton. That's just my enthusiasm there for that Wednesday player. We've got Chris Morris for Borough, Stuart Nethercott for Tottenham, Paulo Futre for West Ham, who was a very good player, weren't he, for Portugal? And I think there was some sort of argument with Harry Redknapp, who was manager at West Ham at the time, about not playing because he didn't get the shirt number that he wanted. Robbie Fowler, yeah, for Liverpool, his PFA Jacket. David Ginola, team of the season, and Russell Holt for Derby. So we've got Arsenal's David Platt, Ian Taylor for Villa, Teddy Sheringham, who looks like he's had a basin put around his head to be cut and just not bothered doing it. Craig Russell for Sunderland, Gary Pallister for Man United, and Robbie Earle for the Dons, the crazy gang. Yorgos Donis for Blackburn, Alan Wright for Villa, Joe Parkinson for Everton, Richard Ord for Sunderland, Dean Yates for Derby, and Jason Dodd for Southampton. So Paul Bracewell was, I think, a good player for Everton in the 80s, weren't he? Yeah, for Sunderland. Muzzy is it for Leicester, Rule Fox for Spurs, Ruff Gullit, PFA team of the season shining. Got about 4 of them, haven't we, so far? Liam Dyche for Coventry, and Francis Benali again with that tash. We haven't seen the ultimate tash yet, have we, Seaman? So we've got Steve Stone for Forest, Chris Sutton for Blackburn, Paul Williams for Coventry, John Solarco for Coventry as well, Ian Wright, absolute legend for the game, and John Ebbrell. Then we've got Kevin Richardson for Coventry, Des Walker for Wednesday. I was sang a song about You'll Never Beat Des Walker, so it was a Wednesday and Forest legend, but when he played for Forest in the 2002-2003 playoff semi-final, he scored an own goal at the Cop End at Bramall Lane, didn't he? Which was a good moment, got to say. The late, great Pavel Cernacek, Tim Sherwood, Philippe Albert, who loves a bit of sauce on his chips, doesn't it? And Liverpool legend Robbie Fowler. 10 seasons after that, the 2006-2007 season, when he went back to Liverpool for a little bit, he was a bit older, scored 3 goals in 1 season against us. All penalties. And we went down. It's got Efeni Koku, Alan Nielsen, Ayosa Asanovic, Steve Agnew, Gary Neville, and Liawe. Hollywood legend, and definitely Crazy Gang legend, Vinnie Jones. Kevin Poole for Leicester. Ron Willems for Derby. Dennis Wise for Chelsea. Kevin Hitchcock. And Ludic McCloskey. David Unsworth for Everton. Later played for Blades, scored a really important goal for us to help us get up. Warnock then released him, let him sign for Wigan on a free. Last game at season, United and Wigan, where it was either United, Wigan or West Ham went down. He scored the winning penalty in the match. So yeah, don't know what to think of David Unsworth. Steve Vickers for Borough. David James for Liverpool. Neil Shipperley for Southampton, Fernando Nelson for Villa, and Rule Fox for Tottenham. Keith Gillespie for Newcastle, Graham Lasso for Blackburn, Tommy Johnson for Villa, Steve Howe for Newcastle, Warren Barton for Newcastle, and Jason Wilcox for Blackburn. Not got many packs left now, have we? I'm hoping you're liking this nostalgic look back at these stickers. Darren Wassall for Derby, Dean Sturridge for Derby, Dave Besson for Southampton, Earl Barrett for Everton. I think he went and signed for Wednesday that season. He definitely played for us that season. Oh. Ian Taylor and the late, great Hugo Echiog. Can't help it. Players down. I've got to say the late great. Just got to. Gary Charles for Villa. For no, they have anyway. Mark Reaper for West Ham. Gary Neville. Shiner. Is that C? Yes, it is. So that is the last one that I needed out of them, which I'm very pleased about. Chris Morris for Borough. Dion Dublin for Coventry. And Steve Bold for Arsenal. More difficult to get these packs now. They're very loose at the minute. And there he is. Absolute footballing god. Footballing legend. Pele. So like I say, you can get a Pele sticker in this collection. Holding his PFA award. There you go. Ivan Leonardson. Amazing fact sticker. Sparky. Mark Hughes. Neil Sullivan for Wimbledon. And Ron Willems for Derby. We've got Richard Ord for Sunderland. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, David Seaman with his tash. And I was there in the crowd to see him make his greatest ever save, and unfortunately it had to be against Sheffield United, didn't it? It was 38-39 at the time. Still goes on about that being his best save, and it was an FA Cup semi-final. So thanks for that, Dave. Thank you. Florian Radiusiu, Mark Pembridge, Steve McManaman, and Arsenal captain Tony Adams. And we've got absolute legend of the Premier League, Alan Shearer shiny. Football pundit Barry Venison. Andy Melville for Sunderland. Billy McGinley for Blackburn. Des Walker for Wednesday. And Marco Gabbiadini for Derby. And we've got Gary Croft for Blackburn. John Goodman for Wimbledon, the Dons. Dwight York for Aston Villa. Steve Stone for Forest. Gary Flitcroft. And the late, great Kevin Campbell. And we've got Dean Saunders with that amazing hair for Forest. Ricardo Schumacher went on to play for Forest as well. Yep, Steve Nicol, you can go. Dan Petrescu. late great Gianluca Vialli, and another Gary Neville shiny. Around about 3 packs left away. Looks like it. Dropping them there. So we've got a Steve Agnew for Sunderland, Big Nev Southall for Everton, Ian Rush for Leeds, Alex Ray for Sunderland, Stiginga Bionabe for Liverpool, and Tony Yeboah for Leeds. Second to last pack then. So we've got a Clive Wilson for Spurs, Rob Lee for Newcastle, Brian Burrows, Coventry, Ian Bishop for West Ham, Graham Lasso for Blackburn, and Danny Williamson for West Ham. And then last pack then, might as well just take it out because the front of it had come off. There we go, that's the back. So we've got Blackburn and Scotland legend, who I think still turning from when guys are turning him inside out, Euro 96, Colin Hendry, Carlton Palmer, not in the bath this time, John Newsom for that lot Wednesday, David Unsworth, Mike Whitlow, and Jacob Lawson. So there you go. That is a full box of 80 packs from the retro, vintage, nostalgic collection of the Panini official PFA football sticker collection for the 96-97 season. Like I say, 25 pence a pack it was back then. And we have got 2 David Beckham rookie stickers as well. Quite a few Eric Cantonas, just full of absolute legends and nostalgia. But yeah, let me know what you think of this collection in the comments. Will you be going back and doing this collection? I will be putting some available on as well. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you there on the next one.